Premier League is back. Arsenal are back, and we're taking on Fulham away at Craven Cottage. Saturday evening cook-off. Won't be the easiest. A ground that we haven't been successful at for the last 2 seasons. And given the fact that we're top of the league, going into national break, we need to maintain that after international break, at least to the next break, which is in 4 weeks, which is actually crazy when you think about it. But I'm going to be previewing the game. I'm going to be giving my thoughts, my predicted lineups, my predicted scoreline, maybe a bit of tactical stuff on how I feel like we can capitalize against the Fulham mid block. If you're new and you're returning and you haven't already hit the subscribe button, I'm on the road to 1,000. Ooh, 1,000? Look at me, 2,000 subs. I'm so used to saying that. Smash the like button down below and comment down below your predictions, your predicted lineups, or anything you'll change, and just anything you feel. But yeah, Arsenal are facing Fulham, and I've just watched Mikel's press conference. He seems quite in good spirits. Obviously, he gave some updates about certain players. Like, for example, he said Odegaard will be out for weeks and it won't be months. Maybe it'll be after the international break. He said that obviously Campy has been training, so he should be available for the game. So same thing with Zubimendi, who didn't train, I think, in the open training that was pictured yesterday. But he said obviously he's had a lot of minutes, so they just kind of gave him a day. And he said a similar thing for Ben White. Never confirmed or denied whether he's going to be fit or be able to make this game. But just hearing that is a bit more peaceful. I did drop that video yesterday talking about 5 Arsenal players that need to step up in this next period in this block of games for the next break. Ben White was one of them. So hopefully he isn't injured again. There isn't any kind of setback and he can kind of get some consistency. So not that he may have started for me this weekend, but the game's coming up. So that was nice to hear. He was in good spirits talking about obviously we need to kind of emulate what we did against West Ham and Newcastle, 2 grounds that we've lost at or haven't got maximum points for the last couple of seasons, and do the same thing with Fulham. Spoke about Gokeres and other things. Obviously, he's confident and happy with how he's been playing. The goals will come, and he seems in good spirits. And obviously, we're facing Fulham. They're in different form. They've won 2, drawn 2, lost 3. They lost the last 2 games, but they all were away games against Bournemouth and Aston Villa, 3-1 each. But then before that, they won the 2 home games they had as well. So they're good. They're perfect at home in all competitions so far. But they have lost their away games and games they've lost against tough opposition. But nevertheless, I feel asking to go there and get the 3 points and have the attitude that, we're the better team, we're coming there with a better squad, albeit a couple of injuries to some main players as well. But we still have a strong enough squad to go there, get the maximum points, and continue this momentum. Ultimately, I feel like it's our year. Everything is just seeming that it's our year. I'm not even doing the whole because Sky Sports are saying that we're favourites, or some opposition fans and content creators are kind of giving us our credit. It's just more that I see the way that we play, the defensive solidity. I think we have the best defensive record in Europe. 3 goals conceded across 10 games in all competitions, 3 in the league, of course, is amazing. And obviously, attacking dynamics are getting better. I feel like we're becoming more unpredictable. We're becoming more quicker in our play and our passing. Obviously, that's what happens when you have new players and new signings, more competition, more urgency. Obviously, I'm pretty sure with a striker like Gokeres, Mikel has to change his approach to attacking because of the profile that he brings and the strength that he brings as well. So it's interesting to see. And obviously, hopefully, the international break is giving us some needed rest. Obviously, a lot of our players, similar to the last international break, have scored a lot of goals, have, one of their countries. Some have secured World Cup qualification, some are close to doing that, and I'm pretty sure that bodes well for confidence for both players that aren't necessarily even the starting lineup. Your Martinellis, Trossards, even Marinos, guys are getting goals, and it's going to give them an element of confidence. Wanyeri, Dalman. So I love to see it, man. But Fulham is going to be a tough game. They normally pose a mid block. They're quite quality in terms of how Marco Silva sets them up tactically. They've got good players. They will be. He's been coming into his own really in the last couple of years, really playing that midfield position, especially for Fulham. Still got ESR, one of my favourite players, Calvin Bassey, Joachim Anderson. They got that Kevin guy, obviously my namesake, the Brazilian winger. Obviously, he doesn't necessarily start, but he comes on. He's been playing well. And Robertson as well, the left back. They've got good players, man. But Leno, Arsenal, former Arsenal player, a lot of former Arsenal players as well. So it'll be interesting to see how they set up. I'm unsure if Muniz and Jimenez are returning from fitness. They were injured before the break and they're using Adama Traore there. So if that happens, I think it'll be probably a bit more in Arsenal's favour. Although Fulham might set up to go and hit the counter a bit more. They have got good passes like Joachim Anderson that can hit a long pass like any other in the league. So it will be interesting to see how we deal with what Fulham give to us. But I think if I remember that game last year, we dominated possession. We're squeezing them, conceded one chance, obviously one a bit of poor possession. They played one ball behind. Kivio couldn't handle him as his pace. He put it into the back of the net. Great finish, and it was a tough game for us. We did get the equaliser with Saliba, but then kind of probing, but never really threatening. Remember, like, there wasn't no presence in the box. Calvin Bassey, Anderson had a kind of easier game because Havertz was dropping out of the block a lot. So maybe with the likes of Gyökeres, you got Eze in there, for example, and just the vibe in the team, Zubimendi, these elements of players that can, have different profiles that make us a bit unpredictable because they're not the same, but we had can help us. And talking about that, let's just go into my predicted lineup for today because I think it kind of picks itself. So this is what I'm going with. So as you can see on the screen, it's the same lineup that we've kind of started for the last couple of games, albeit I can see Saka and Trossard are in opposite positions. So that's my error, of course. So that's Ryan goal, Timber right back, Saliba and Gabriel centre back. Calafiori keeps his space. I had an argument talking about Steph about Lewis Skelly coming into the team, but I think just for consistency purposes, Calafiori's playing well. Had 2 excellent games again for Italy as well. So I'm happy he's in a good reign of form, and it's just good to kind of keep the solidity now. Especially, I feel like to win this game, this will be the hardest out of the 4 Premier League games that we have, in my opinion, coming up to the next break. Obviously, Zubimendi and Rice behind Eze in the 10, and then obviously it would be Saka on the right, Trossard on the left, and Gyökeres up front. But obviously, I've got a bit mixed up here, so I apologize, man. I apologize. So that'll be my lineup. Comment down below. What would you change? Bar my mistake, but it's a mistake. And would you put anyone in? Would you put Wanyeri? Would you start Marino? Would you start Lewis Skelly? So yeah, comment down below what you guys would do. And just tactically, just before I get into my predictions, like, I think Arsenal have kind of always struggled against, the mid block. I think it's always been something that Arsenal have not been able to kind of capitalize. So on the tactics board here, I just want to kind of look at our setup. Obviously, I got it right. Saka's on the right, Trossard's on the left, as you guys can see. So let's just have a look to see like what I think can happen. So obviously, Fulham will play this kind of mid block. I think they'll be probably a bit higher than where I've put them. Obviously, I haven't put their players' names just because I don't know who's going to be starting, but I've kind of given them their kit in white. So credit me. See, I'm being a bit silly today. So yeah, so Arsenal normally have the shape. We're on the ball. You normally kind of see Calafiori kind of drift away. Gabriel will get a bit wider. With Saliba, Timber will be here. Eze will push a bit higher into the space. Gyökeres likes to operate on that last line. What we have been seeing recently is Trossard kind of playing a bit inverted as well sometimes. See, Saka kind of holds a touchline with Timber kind of going up and down, sometimes going into this space here, giving Saka to have 1v1s when he gets the ball. And Timber's kind of been there. You see Zubimendi make that pass to Timber many a time in this space. That's how we won the penalty. We saw also Eze underlapping as well in this space. We see that similar to Zubimendi. So I think it's going to be different. I think Arsenal can push and force Fulham into a low block, which I expect, but they will still have some high lines sometimes. This is where the movement of Gyökeres, where a late run from a Timber, Calafiori will run coming inside and showing, will be interesting. Obviously, Arsenal have probably this build-up shape, depending on if Fulham do press us. So that gives license for Calafiori and Eze to make that box whilst they kind of hold that width, for sometimes these two might switch and Trossard might come in here, for example. Ultimately, as I'm saying, because you can see this is our shape, I want us to try and always see if we can play the balls in behind. Some smart movement from Gyökeres. I've seen Zubimendi pull off a lovely clip passes. The pass, as I said, to Timber for the penalty, the pass that he played to Timber that Nick Pope made that great save from the header. A couple of switches in a couple of games and stuff. Remember the cross that he did to Gyökeres in pre-season that led to the header. I think these are the things I want to see. Timber get some freedom. I trust Gabriel and Saliba, if it is Adama Traore starting there, to try to kind of carry that. And in this game, even more than ever, I would love to see Zubimendi getting a bit higher with the ball, trying to make, interlink and make passes, and Rice kind of covering that space. We saw how Fulham capitalized on us last time, where we were all kind of caught up in the pitch in this position, and it was like Saliba, I think it was Kivio that time, I'm pretty sure Rice was quite high, and then the ball breaks, Jimenez is here, plays a ball down the line. But obviously, we trust Gabriel in that kind of battle. But if Rice is in this position to kind of cover, help for that space, we've seen Rice many times, one man, the horse they call him in the team, come and help us to kind of be defensively solid and maintain playing the pitch in this half, as you guys can see. So hopefully we can see a bit more movement. This will be a game for a player like Martinelli to come off the bench. It would have been a lovely game for a player like Madueke as well. But Martinelli to come off the bench, Marino to come with his height, his goal-scoring form. Maybe if we only have a 1-goal lead, or if we're looking for a goal, I think there's a lot of options that we have. But I think with this starting lineup, I think we have the strength to kind of take it to Fulham. And ultimately, win the game. And ultimately, I think this is a game for Gyökeres. I'm going to highlight him. I spoke about him a lot. I hope that he can score a goal. I hope that he can get a goal, because these are kind of games where Arsenal kind of struggled in the mid block, where we have a lot of party players, but he's a running behind. He's going to stretch the pitch. As I said, if Fulham are trying to press up high, and if we can get one good pass in behind with that maybe potential mid block that we see Fulham do, that shape that we can play a nice clip ball in behind, get him a 1v1. If you can get a goal, I think the confidence goes, because Fulham, Palace, Burnley and Sunderland, I would want my number 9 to score in at least 3 or 4 of those games. As I said, I think the pressure I put on him, and I think he can. And I hope he starts this weekend, because then we've got Atletico midweek, and goals come in clusters. Like, if he gets a goal, he can be confident and he can move, man. So that's just that, man. My predictions for this game: I predicted 3-0 for the last couple of games. Been predicting 3-0, 3-0, 3-0, 3-0, and Arsenal been getting 2-0s. So I'm going to go with 2-0. And if Arsenal dare win 3-0, I'm going to be happy about it. But I'll be annoyed that I didn't just stick to my guns. But I'm going to go 2-0. I think Fulham is a ground that we haven't scored many goals at. Teams don't really score many goals at, because they're a great defensive team. They got a good team, as I said. Great keeper in Bernd Leno. Great shot stopper. So we've got to be solid. But I think we've just got to take our chances when we can. It'll probably be a similar thing. Maybe a hope for early goal in the first half, and then you kind of kill the game either before second half, or as second half starts, and then you kind of pass the ball around and, get ourselves ready for that Atletico game while securing the 3 points. So yeah, 2-0 to Arsenal. Hopefully Gyökeres and Saka are the goal scorers for me. And we have another excellent performance from our team, another clean sheet, which will always be good, because I'm looking at that record. Obviously, the Chelsea record is going to be too hard to get, but I'm looking at that record. So yeah, man, I'm positive, and hopefully we can keep the good times shining and just continue our run. As I said, it's a good chance to build some momentum, go on a winning one, and you have to start your first game right. It's not easy. First game after international break, away at Fulham, a ground we haven't won in 2 years. So you have to remember the context is there, but I'm putting the pressure on this team and expectation that we can do it. So comment down below what you think about the lineup, bar the mistake. Who would you change? Give me your predict to score lines, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And I'll catch you guys in the next video. It's been your boy KAPE. Hope you also get the win. And tune in, because I'll be doing a watch along for this game tomorrow.